Hey, this is Mad Matt from Budget Boostin'. Today I'm going to show you a real draw-through turbocharged car to show you it really works. Here is a factory original 1980 Buick Regal Sport Coupe, which originally came with this very same engine here, a turbo 3.8 liter V6. It's draw-through turbocharging, just like the video I talked about. At the time I did the draw-through turbocharging video, all we had was props. All I could do is show you props on how to set up a draw-through turbocharged car. But now I have the real McCoy. I have the real draw-through turbocharged car, a 1980 Turbo Regal. Now the first year of this Turbo Regal was 78. 1978 they started the 3.8 Turbo Regal. It has a 4-barrel Rochester quadrajet carburetor, and the fuel air mixture goes into this little valley and goes to the intake of the turbo's compressor. The turbo compresses it and mixes the fuel air mixture and shoves it in the intake manifold. When the piston comes down, the valve opens up. This nice forced fuel air mixture goes in there, and there's your turbo boost. Already has its fuel, already has its air mixed into one, so therefore you don't intercool it because you got fuel and air mixing into the turbo compressor and getting pushed into the intake manifold. So you don't intercool these. But naturally fuel mixes with air, so that's going to make the air cooler anyway. Now after the turbo gets hot and convection spreads the heat over, which will naturally happen after 30 minutes of driving, it'll be warm. But if you want to cool your system even further, you can put a little methanol injector right there and inject windshield wiper fluid, which has methyl alcohol in there, and that'll cool your fuel air mixture. So you have a little bit of methyl alcohol mixed with the fuel in the air, shoved into the turbo in the manifold, and you'll have cool ambient air. So that's how you intercool this kind of a setup, a draw-through turbocharger setup. You use a methanol injection kit, or alcohol injection they call it, which is just basically windshield wiper fluid because it has methyl alcohol and distilled water. And the water in the alcohol is like liquid intercooling, especially in a spray pattern that gets atomized with the fuel and compressed with the turbocharged forced air. So a very great setup and a high potential for great gas mileage too, because your fuel is very efficiently used in this system. Very unique. These are very hard to find. Now the first draw-through turbocharger car was done in 1962. It was a 1962 Chevrolet Corvair Spyder. It had a flat 6 or horizontally opposed 6 with a draw-through turbo setup, a carburetor, which takes the fuel and air mixture to the turbo's compressor and into the intake manifold. Now, right with the 62 Chevy Corvair, they had the Oldsmobile Jetfire. It was put in the Oldsmobile 215 Jetfire, a very great car. It was a V8 with the same concept, and it had a V8 draw-through turbo setup, and it had a methanol injector to go with the fuel and air mixture. And they called it turbo rocket fluid back then because, hey, in the 60s, turbocharging was just like, wow. People never heard of it before, so they called it turbo rocket fluid. Little things like that back then in 62. And then in 78, Buick did this. And they did this all the way to 1987. And I have basically the first generation of Buick's turbocharged Regals. And here's the last version, the 87 Buick Regal Turbo T Limited. The last of the rear-wheel drive Turbo Regals, so I have the collection. I got the first and the last. This is what started all the turbocharging craze right here. The Turbo Regal that led to the Grand National, led to the GNX, and then Buick Regals became front-wheel drive and slow. So anyway, aside from that, alrighty then, we're going to take a drive in this car and take it for a spin. It's pretty much stock right now. It has a stock tiny intake right there, so you're not going to hear hardly anything when you go for a drive. It's going to be as quiet as a church mouse. The exhaust system is church mouse quiet. You can't hear anything because it's got this big quiet muffler under there. So I'm going to fix that in time, and you'll see this car evolve into something a lot faster and a lot more fun to drive as these videos go on. So here's the real draw-through turbocharged car in the metal, for real. It's not a diagram, it's not all these props that I had to show you the concept. That's a great video because it shows the concept, but this is the real car, the real draw-through turbocharged engine. And it really works, and it works good. I've seen comments of people saying draw-through turbocharging doesn't work. Well, Buick thought so back in 1978, and this led to the Great Grand National in '87. So there you have it. We'll take a little ride in the Buick. I'll close this off, and that'll be it. Just cruising, nice and smooth. Let's go down Cox. Go down this road.
Feels like it handles pretty well.
Yeah, it does. Thank you again for watching Budget Boosting. I hope you enjoyed seeing this classic car, which is rare to find. I got lucky and found it. So thank you for watching Budget Boosting. If you like us on YouTube page. See our budgetboosting.com website. Get those Budget Boosting window stickers. There'll be one getting on this car real soon when I get the windshield changed. It's got some brakes in it. And check out Facebook. Like us there too. And remember, knowledge is power. It's horsepower.